I distinctly remember saying, stop the bus. Yes, stop the bus. Not shoot the bus. I'm very particular with my words. Stop. Shoot. Stop. Shoot. Do those words sound the same?
That it got out of control.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
It got out of control.
Got out of control. I hate when things get out of control. Oh! One fucking chopper, you couldn't fucking do that! And I got blood on my fucking shoes. At least there's a silver lining. You didn't completely fuck it up. Get up, boy. I'd recognize those eyes anywhere. I'm so sorry about this. This was supposed to be... well, not this. We have a party waiting for you, but I don't think I know your name. Who is this? Is this your plus one? Strong silent type. I like it. I am terribly embarrassed about all of this. This was supposed to be very simple, but you know, if you give food to monkeys, they just throw their shit at each other. You know? Oh, would you hold this? For just a moment, I want to get a little picture right into the camera. There we are. Awesome. Don't worry about a thing, my boy. This will soon be behind us, and we'll be off on our grand adventure. Because I have cleared my calendar for you. You and I are gonna tear shit up!
Should I stay or should I go?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of whatever I call this thing. Shit, Drew's been playing. I don't really know what I call it. In this week's installment, if you haven't already guessed, is Far Cry 4. So far, I've played about 2.5 hours. I have completed the first act of the campaign. And so far, the most interesting thing about the game is that fine gentleman which you just met named Pagan Min. He's very Joker-esque, isn't he? Which is kind of ironic because he is voiced by none other than one of the Team Same Voice guys, Troy Baker, who... friggin' Eagles. Dude, I hate Eagles. First off... you can't attack me. I'm in the village. I can't pull my weapon out. Eagles are the worst thing in the game. God, they suck. Anywho, it's ironic-ish because Troy Baker was also the voice. He was the voice of Joker in Arkham Origins, I think that's correct. But anyway, he seems like a very interesting character. And from what I have heard, one of the unfortunate things about Far Cry 4 is that he's not in the game very much. Like I said, I've played for a couple hours, and that's essentially that beginning section. There's a little bit after that, but that beginning section is essentially the only time that I've done anything with him, other than him kind of taunting me on the radio and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer that he's not around more, apparently. But he's a very interesting kind of character. And actually, all of the characters that I've met so far have been kind of interesting. The gun dealer guy is like a crazed religious fanatic who, he asks questions like, what kind of gun would Jesus use?
Revelations 19:11. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger.
Crazy, weird things like that. And there's, I just ran into a fellow named Hank, who I believe is he may be like the co-op partner, like if you don't actually have a co-op partner. And he is sort of your stereotypical American in a Asian country where he's like, people are speaking perfectly understandable English, but apparently Hank has no idea what they're saying. That kind of thing.
These guys have been giving me a lot of stank eye over the things I've been saying about the Golden Path, so that makes sense.
So it's kind of funny. So far, the characters are interesting. I mean, my guy is a dude who was, I'm not sure. He was born here, or if his parents are from here and moved to America before he was born. I can't honestly tell you which one it is. But, oh, jeez. Anywho, I've heard the story is not that great, not that interesting, but so far, at least the characters seem kind of interesting, seem kind of fun. The game is very much Far Cry 3 version 2, or whatever you would want to say. It's very similar to Far Cry 3, and almost all of the mechanics are essentially just about the same. Check out this inflation here. Somebody give me some money. I know you want to. Give me the money. 13,500. Man, that sounds like a lot. Walmart almost full. I just got a brand new wallet and it's already almost full. Such a pain in the butt. But it's got all those same kind of things that you remember from yeah, you guys are you're just excited that you won. Crazy little Asians. It's got the hunting of the beasts, and it's got the kill, the stealthing up and stabbing people in the face, and it's got climbing is a new thing. When it works, it's actually really interesting. Well, I don't know, not really climbing, but sort of this grappling, where you can really make your way up walls, and even do jumps to grab other points, and do some pretty interesting acrobatics with the climbing. Of course, sometimes it does go a little crazy, and you might end up having a little bit of a jump boost at the bottom of your climb. But that's all part of the fun, man. That's what it's all about. Welcome to the open world of Far Cry. The game does not perform especially well, at least not on my system. I had to turn down several of the values to not ultra, which I guess, first world problems. I can't run everything on ultra. I have to still turn down some things to high or very high in order to get it to run. I've never really grappled down. In order to get it to maintain 60 frames per second. So you can really grapple down pretty effectively. That's nice. That is nice. Hello. There is a new mechanic that I've had a lot of fun with called the auto drive. And I think that you'll probably have some clips cut in here. Auto drive, I think that basically what it does is it just takes the AI driving for the NPCs and then just applies it to your vehicle.
Sometimes I gather I should confess it now.
Now, it's good in certain instances, like if you want to shoot while driving, which is something that's always been really hard in Grand Theft Auto, to try and drive and shoot at the same time. But using the auto drive, you can do it quite effectively. But it does have its issues because it is, I think, essentially using the AI that or using the driving mechanics that the AI uses, the same, sort of rules. And you're probably aware of the fact that the AI, especially when it comes to their driving abilities, not always, not always the best at the driving. All right, we're just gonna go loud. Oh, they killed him. So yeah, definitely some minor issues when trying to figure out how to drive. But it is a cool thing. I think you actually go a little slower than you normally would if you were just driving yourself. But it is cool to be able to shoot and do stuff like that. I have, actually, and to be honest with you, as much of an outcry as there was about how buggy Assassin's Creed Unity is, I've encountered a lot more and serious problems with Far Cry than I did with Assassin's Creed Unity, and I played Unity for probably more than 20 hours, and like I said, I'm only about 2.5 hours into Far Cry 4. I had issues once I started the game up, and I watched kind of the initial sequences. I was like, oh, well, I really want... How are these guys back already? Get loud. Get wrecked on. Vertical sync wasn't on, and I wanted to turn up the gamma a little bit, or the brightness. So I paused it. Give me that back. I don't want his dirty AK. Give me that. So I paused the game, adjusted the gamma, turned on vertical sync, and basically it just dropped down to less than 1 frame per second. And I had to basically, it really, like, it essentially locked up my entire computer. Even if I alt-tabbed out, even after I managed to get the game force closed, it still, I had to just completely turn my computer off and restart it. I've also had a lot of problems with saving. Like, so it did that just after I had already watched, like, all the introductory cutscenes. It was about 15-20 minutes of you not being able to do anything. And apparently there are no checkpoints during that time. Because when I started the game back up, I had to sit all the way back through all the cutscenes, and they are not skippable. As far as I know, at least thus far, none of the cutscenes in the game have been skippable. You just have to sit through all of them, which is a bummer since I already saw them. And it's also having a lot of problems with saving. Like, I'm not really sure what the magic... So I played for about an hour and a half or so, and I was going to quit. I just completed kind of a side mission. Actually, it wasn't a side mission. It was one of the main missions. And I was going to quit and take a break for a while. Then when I came back, I was totally not where I was. Like, I had lost about 20 minutes. That entire mission was now not done, and I had to go and do it again. And I'm like, okay, well, what I did was I escaped, and then I just said quit to desktop. And I was like, okay, well, maybe the issue is I need to say save and quit. So the next time after I play a little bit and I was going to quit again, I did save and quit. And then when I loaded up, I had lost about 45 minutes or so of hunting that I had done, which, much like in Far Cry 3, you hunt in order to craft weapon holsters and wallets and loot bags and all that good stuff, just like we used to do. Which I always thought was a very cool mechanic, and I like it a lot. You definitely want to get your weapon holder up first, because it sucks only having one weapon. Actually, you start off, you can hold just one secondary or primary, and then the next level is just one primary and one secondary. So it's like, I wanted to have my bow and my AK, and it's like, nope, can't do it. Can only do a primary and a secondary. So I was like, motherfucker. So luckily enough, obviously... that's a pretty easy one to do because I've already gotten all of that. You can see I'm not really very far on the others. So you get that one pretty fast, so you can get all 4 of your weapon slots. Thank the baby Jesus. What was I saying? So I lost about 30 to 45 minutes of hunting, and I was like, well, god damn it. So now what I do before I quit, I do save, and then I fast travel somewhere, and then I save again, and then I save and quit, and then I go to my desktop. And it seems as though that somewhere in that process of whether it be saving and quitting, or fast traveling and it doing an auto checkpoint, it seems to do better at actually saving my progress. But the first couple times when you quit and you come back and it's like, why am I like 30 minutes behind where I was, including what I thought was saving and quitting, and including actually completing main story missions, which I have now lost, and it didn't save any of it. So that is definitely an irritant, and it's just something you got to work around, I guess, in order, just save and quit, fast travel, get a checkpoint, get a load point, get a something point, and then finally quit, just to try and assure yourself that it did actually save your game. So, anyway, performance is okay. I mean, I'm able to, with the settings turned down a little bit, which you can see, it doesn't, it looks better. I tell you what, let's actually, here comes the sun. Doo-dee-doo-doo. No. You can't go, I think the sun's coming up. Is the sun coming up? Where's the sun at? You can, go to your house and adjust time in the beds. But it looks like the sunrise is on its way, and it looks better in the sun than it does. I think the sun's coming from that direction. Well, that must, because if that's north, yeah, that must be east. It looks pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of vegetation, and it all is moving in the wind all nicely, and it uses NVIDIA's new shadow technology, I think. Here come the God rays, as they call them, which are basically just the sun coming through the canopy and all that kind of good stuff. The wildlife in the game is ridiculous. I mean, I've seen just craziness, eagles carrying off pigs, and I had a little incident starting off from the beginning where I thought I was going to be Master Ninja Sneaky Guy, and I ended up not really things going the way that I had hoped they would. So overall, it's a lot of fun. Most of the bugs that you find are just sort of fun things, like me doing that pole vault up the mountain, or random other little things. You run into a mission zone and an enemy disappears, or strange physics things that happen, and that's not the end of the world. I mean, that's fine. Overall, I mean, if you like Far Cry 3, which I know you better, obviously we're going to like Far Cry 4. It is definitely just more Far Cry 3, which in my brain is a great, amazing thing, and I'm excited. I'm happy for it. No real complaints. If I could get the, just to get it sort of squared away to, perform well and to behave itself, I'm thinking possibly a contender for Game of the Year. I was trying to think about, what games have even come out this year that would be in the running for Game of the Year. And I know that's kind of early to say that I've been playing a game for 2.5 hours and it's already maybe the Game of the Year, but I don't know. It's pretty darn good, man. I mean, you can't really beat the Far Cry 3 formula. Oh, and I forgot to talk about There are some things that I haven't really experienced yet. I've seen a few elephants, and I've unleashed one upon some bad guys, but I haven't ridden one yet. You know, that's a new thing that is, you know, their big selling point are the elephants. There's also a wingsuit, which you can, like, kind of glide off of mountains on. I haven't gotten far enough to obtain that, evidently. But I did get a little bit of a ride in the gyrocopter earlier. I found one of those and went for a little spin, and they're actually really fun. They would be lots of fun in co-op, because I guess both of you can ride on it. One of you drive, and the other one can, like, fire a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher off the back of it. Which, speaking of co-op, I've heard co-op is really a lot of fun. It's basically just you can do everything in the mission, in the world, which I guess I can show you the world. I've only unlocked 2 of the towers so far, and I'm not sure how many there are. At least like 15 or so. So it's a pretty massive world. When we started off at the beginning and I was flying in that hang glider, we basically came from this main village down to where we are now. So we hang glided basically across that section. As you can see, that's a fairly insignificant portion of the map. It's got all the things you expect, the radio towers, which they call them bell towers, which I love. They're great fun to try and climb up those. The outposts that you can take over, you know, with the stealthy if you want the bonus, or the go in loud, you know, disable the alarms, all that same stuff from Far Cry 3. There are also apparently these fortresses, which are supposed to be really, really cool and really, really fun. Like you see there, it says it advises you to play them in co-op, which is kind of an interesting piece of advice for it to give you, because apparently what you can do in co-op is you can do all of the stuff that isn't main story, so any side missions, take over any towers, any strongholds, any of those dungeon things, but only the host gets credit for those things. The person in the game gets to keep their loot, their XP, any levels they get, any money they get. But any towers that are taken over, any fortresses that are taken over, any strongholds that are taken over, those things do not save for the guest. They only save for the host, which kind of sucks. But I hear it's lots of fun. You know, it's pretty much just a seamless, you know, you just invite a person to your game, they just drop in, and you guys can just go and do whatever you want. So I know you're probably definitely going to be getting this for PC. I would say once you do, we need to go do some romping and cause some trouble out there in the world. Let's see, I can't really think of anything else that I was going to say at the moment. Oh, you know, there was actually one more thing I was going to say. I was going to talk about Uplay, because Uplay gets a lot of hate, and I got a little achievement from Uplay earlier, which made me think about saying something about it. You know, I actually have no problem with Uplay. Uplay does one thing that no one else really does, and that is that I can get actual, real in-game benefits and rewards for the things that I do, such as, point in case, even before I started playing Far Cry 3, I was able to get a weapon. It's kind of a fun weapon. It's sort of modeled after It's sort of modeled after RoboCop's gun. In fact, I believe that the here you can see the driving and shooting at the same time. So I don't have to pay attention to where the car's going. I can just fire away any direction I want, and the car will... I'm not really sure where it's going, because I didn't tell it to go anywhere. But it'll go to a waypoint, it'll do anything you want, but it does go a little bit slower. Like if I take over and actually drive myself, I do end up going a little bit faster than if I put the auto drive back on. It slows it down. I forgot what I was saying again. I'm terrible at this. I really need to make notes. Oh, Uplay. So this gun I received before I even started the game, and it's modeled after like RoboCop's gun, which is kind of funny. It's like a 3-round burst. RoboCop's gun was a Beretta 93R, which is semi-similar, but not quite. Oh, it's pretty similar. It might be. And I have a silencer. I should take the silencer off, because see if I can do that. No, that's the wrong button. I need to go to... I bet I have to be at a city to do it. Oh, ballsack. maybe I'll roll in a clip at the end here of me firing without the silencer on, because it's got a cool little like muzzle blast. It looks a lot like RoboCop's gun. So anyway, that's all I really have to say. You know, you should definitely get Far Cry 3. Not that there was any question as to whether or not, you know, Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4. See, it's so close I can't even say it. It's a fun game. You know, it's not. It's hard to say that it's the game of the year when it's really basically just Far Cry 3 all over again. But Far Cry 3 was so good. I don't know. We'll have to have the game of the year discussion at some point. Anyway, oh fucking eagles, no. Man, oh god, it's gonna kill the monkey. How could I? How did I miss that? I shot the monkey. God, I hate eagles. I'll see you later. Peace.